Guys, your boy here, Mafi John, and new video here this week, and today it will be about a very special topic today. So, as you all know, most YouTubers at the start, before at least every F1 year, they make some predictions about this F1 season up and coming. And last year, I made some predictions, and I think I only got 2 wrong out of 10. So, I call that pretty successful. Now we are going into one of, if not the most anticipated seasons in Formula One history, of multiple driver changes, new rookies on the block. It's just gonna be entertaining. So like last year, I decided to make some predictions for the 2025 Formula 1 season. Some pretty unorthodox, others are pretty straightforward, and the rest a little in between. And this is just for some little vibes and some stuff, nothing too serious. And this is entirely opinion based before we start this. So some things which you might expect to be on this list, they might not actually be on this list, if you know what I mean by that. So well, without further ado, let's just get into the predictions. Let's go. But before we start the video, please, quick disclaimer, please make sure to like and subscribe before we get into the video here. We are growing in channel growth. I've having this channel for about almost 2 years, and ever since then we've made a lot of videos and we've had a lot of views and subscribers come along the way. So I like to keep that up going into the year, and hopefully by the end of the year we can reach at least 20 or 25 subscribers if that is possible. So let's just do that if it's possible. So let's go. Prediction number 1: Lewis Hamilton will be the 2025 Formula One World Champion. Yes, I said it. I know, not because of I'm a Lewis fan. Okay, maybe because I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. So, okay, just hear me out on this. So, of course, last year Hamilton made that absolute bombshell of a decision to leave Mercedes and go to Ferrari for 2025. Of course, lots of people thought that of as a shock. And maybe it was probably Hamilton's decision to decide to go for an 8th championship, because Mercedes hasn't really been that good during this new regulations period. But as we all know, the regulations will be changing up after this year, and next year we'll have brand new regulations, which hopefully Mercedes can recover from, or maybe Ferrari can, because of course in this current regulation 0, at the start of the regulation 0, Ferrari were absolutely quick until yeah. And there has been quite a lot of hype over Hamilton going to Ferrari, because as we saw in preseason testing, Hamilton was actually very quick. And when we see from the onboard, you realize that he is not suffering from any understeer or oversteer. He's not having to wrestle the car through corners or anything like that, which some people point out, because if you look at any other onboard from when he was driving the W15 last year, you can see he had a lot of corrections to understeer or oversteer or stuff like that, which often hampered his lap times. Plus, Hamilton is the most successful driver in Formula One, and when you put the most successful driver plus the most successful team, I think you know what will gonna happen. Well, given I said that Lewis Hamilton will win the 2025 World Championship, it might not come as a shock that Ferrari will win the Constructors' Championship. While we have Hamilton in our team, it's best that we do not absolutely forget about Charles Leclerc, because while Charles Leclerc, he might still make a few mistakes once every while. Keep in mind, Charles Leclerc is one of, if not the quickest driver in one lap pace. He has had multiple pole positions, almost 30, but he's only managed like 8 wins out of that. With qualifying being as critical as it has ever been in F1, this could actually be something good for Ferrari, because if you qualify high, you'll manage to finish high in the races as well. And plus, when you put qualifying pace and race pace together, that is a good combination there, because you have 1 lap pace in qualifying to start high, and then you have that race pace, because from the qualifying pace, as I said, you start high on the grid, and then you just convert that into absolute dominant race pace. So yeah, that is why I think Ferrari will win the Constructors' Championship. Prediction number 3, and this is probably the the most normal prediction right here, or one of the most normal. Liam Lawson will flounder against Max Verstappen. This might not come as a shock to many of y'all, as almost all of, as I say, all of Max Verstappen's teammates since Daniel Ricciardo left have absolutely drowned in Max Verstappen's wake. Pierre Gasly was dropped midway through 2019. Alex Albon only got 2 podiums and had 2 further taken away. And Sergio Perez, well, yes, he's won a few races, but he's been kind of inconsistent, shall I say, and he is being dropped for Liam Lawson. But some people say that Lawson does not deserve the Red Bull seat and it should have instead gone to Yuki Tsunoda. But as Red Bull said, they are not ready to promote Yuki Tsunoda in, and that might mean that Yuki Tsunoda might be soon leaving the F1 grid or something like that. Maybe to join has something like that, but yeah, going back to that, the point is, Lawson, given that he has only had 11 races of experience, not a full season in F1, I think Max will definitely cook him. Prediction number 4, Carlos Sainz will outscore Alex Albon in the standings. So in case you'll be living under a rock, after Lewis Hamilton made that switch to Ferrari for 2025, it was announced like back in August that Sainz will replace Logan Sargent at Williams alongside Alex Albon. Now I say this for 2 reasons. First of all, you can see from the laps in preseason testing that Sainz was actually quick. He actually went fastest, I think, on like day 1 or day 2 or one of those days. So it shows that the Williams is quick in 1 lap pace, as we saw for the last like 2, 3, 4 years or something like that. And second of all, Sainz, keep in mind, has more experience than Alex Albon. Sainz is going into his 11th year in F1, and Albon has been in F1 for like 5 years, going into his 6th year in F1, and experience plays a huge part in Formula 1, if you know anything. So I think Sainz will definitely give Albon a run for his money in the championship, or maybe even outscore him in the standings. Prediction number 5, George Russell will considerably outscore Kimi Antonelli in the standings. Now, this is another normal prediction because, of course, Kimi Antonelli is a rookie, and as you've seen last year, we know that Russell can lead the team because, of course, he is following in the footsteps of Lewis Hamilton, and when you're following in the footsteps of a 7-time world champion, that's a kind of a lot of weight being put on your shoulders there, bro. So now that George Russell is going into team leader status at Mercedes, I believe that he will definitely outscore Kimi Antonelli in the standings. Prediction number 6, Oliver Baumann will flourish against Esteban Ocon. Now, most of these rookies, if not all of them, have had quite a lot of hype this season, and I think Ollie Baumann, has the most hype behind Kimi Antonelli, of course, and I think Baumann will definitely give Ocon a run for his money. Although Ocon does have the experience, but remember, Ollie Baumann did 2 races for Haas last year, and don't forget that he jumped into the car in Jeddah from FP3 onwards, did only 1 practice session, almost knocked out Lewis Hamilton, and then in the race he finished 7th. Now tell me you think he won't do well in 2025. Prediction number 7, Jack Doohan will be dropped mid-season. Now after 2024, it was announced that Alpine would take on Franco Colapinto as reserve driver. Now y'all remember Franco Colapinto, who stepped in for Logan Sargent when he was sort of underperforming at Williams, and Colapinto actually performed well against Albon, so a lot of teams were attracted to Colapinto, not literally though. But so Alpine decided to hire Colapinto as a reserve driver. However, most people think that it would be so that when Jack Doohan does not perform, Colapinto will step in to replace him, because Alpine already has 2 reserve drivers. We have Paul Aron and we have Victor Martins as well. So why bring in a further driver? Well, simple. Paul Aron and Victor Martins, they have not driven F1 cars yet, or at least not in races. Colapinto already did 9 races in F1, all of them last year with Williams. So it shows that Colapinto can drive an F1 car good. So that is why I think Jack Doohan will be dropped mid-season. And not really that, but also because his teammate will be Pierre Gasly. And now Gasly, ever since Gasly has been dropped by Red Bull, I don't know what happened, but Gasly has been an absolutely different demon. You've seen him driving Alpha Tauris into 4th P5s on the grid and getting an occasional podium. He's done the same with Alpine, and bro, Gasly in the last 4 races of 2024, he had that podium in Brazil, a 3rd place on the grid in Vegas, although he could have got points if it was not for that mechanical issue. Then in Qatar, he was absolutely beautiful. And then after Verstappen collided with Piastri in Abu Dhabi, he of course held third for most of the race, but then finished 7th, which shows that Gasly might absolutely destroy Doohan in 2025, and Doohan might not really have an answer for that, so he might get dropped before the end of the season by Colapinto. Prediction number 8, Oscar Piastri will outshine Lando Norris in the championship. So in 2024, of course, Lando Norris, he gave Max Verstappen a small run for his money for the championship, but of course, Lando Norris, he failed because he was Lando Norris. But McLaren, remember, McLaren had that deficit to Red Bull in the championship before Miami, which shows what if McLaren was with Red Bull throughout the start of the season, And also keep in mind, Piastri is absolutely no slouch to him whatsoever. We've seen Piastri making absolute daring overtakes for the lead of races. When was the Italian Grand Prix in 2024, Piastri absolutely went around the outside of Norris into the Della Rocha chicane, which compromised Norris's racing line and allowed him to lose 2nd place to Charles Leclerc, which shows Piastri is absolutely no slouch. Of course, Piastri is still in his 3rd season, going into his 3rd season in Formula 1, which shows that he can still make some mistakes, even though he is no longer a rookie. But I still think Piastri will outshine Norris in the championship. Prediction number 9, Sauber will once again finish last in the Constructors' Championship. Even with a new driver lineup of Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto, which is both youth and experience, I still think that this will not change Sauber's position in the Constructors' Championship. Of course, as you all know, F1 grid is getting closer and closer as the years draw on. And I think Sauber, because of course, not only will the new regulations come in for 2026, but also it was announced that Audi will be taking over from Sauber in 2026, sorry. So I believe that Sauber might not put so many resources into this year's car, the C45, I think it's called. The point is, I think because of the new regulations and Audi coming in 2026 to replace Sauber, I don't think Sauber will put this much resources into doing well in 2025, and they'll focus more on 2026, which is why they'll finish last in the Constructors. And the last prediction, there will be at least 6 different winners in 2025. Last year we had 7 different race winners, and I think that this will reduce by a number because of course you have Antonelli and Lawson, 2 rookies, and I don't think they will be doing that well. Of course, we haven't had a rookie winner in F1 for 18 years since Hamilton in 2007. So I don't think Antonelli or Lawson will be winning a race in 2025. But I think the 6 drivers, that is Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, Hamilton, Verstappen, and Russell, they'll definitely be winning races. Also more than one as well, like last year. Well, that is the end of the video, and those are my 10 predictions for the 2025 Formula 1 season. Of course, after the Formula 1 season finishes for 2025, I will revisit these predictions to see how many of them I got right. We got a lot of these right last year, and I think that 12 months on, as they say, lightning does not strike twice, but for some things it definitely does. And I think that for this one, this will definitely be another successful predictions making for 2025. But yeah, make your own predictions. Feel free to do so for the 2025 Formula 1 season. And as I said at the beginning of the video, drop a like if you enjoyed this video. And make sure to subscribe for more monthly F1 content. I'll see you again. Goodbye.